Plenty of support for both teams inside the stadium. Earlier we brought you the odds with William Hill, 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
In the Zone on Talksport 2 with William Hill, 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Low ball in towards the near post, and Brennan Johnson arrives again and pops it in front of Fabianski.
Came up a little bit of stick recently, Ali, I think, and then since then he's answered the critics with 6 goals in 6 games. It's been a great run for him.
Son Heung-min on the overlap, across the face of goal, Johnson! First minute, Brennan Johnson!
He's a hugely talented footballer, which we see, but what I love about Brennan, he has the habits of all real top-class players. The team comes first. He works for the team. He makes the team better by being there.
So there's the view of Craig Bellamy on Brennan Johnson. He wears the number 11, Dean Saunders, but I think he still has some way to go before being the new Gareth Bale.
Oh yeah, I don't think there'll ever be another Gareth Bale. To be honest, it's a big job trying to fill his shoes. But Brennan's definitely our best player. Obviously, Aaron Ramsey's not as fit as he was, but I mean, he's just got to produce. You can coach him and tell him to do whatever you like, but he's got to find it within himself when he pulls a red shirt on to get goals and make goals. That's his job.
A reminder of the two teams again for you. Wales, Ward in goal. Roberts, Roden, Davis and Williams are back for this evening. Wilson, James and Cooper in midfield, with Johnson, Moore and Thomas in attack. Valdemarson in goal for Iceland. Fredriksson, Gretarsson, Ingerson and Finneson, they're back four. Gudmundsson, formerly of Burnley, Thordarson of Preston and Willemsen of Birmingham in midfield, with Gudjonsson, Oskarsson and Thorsteinsson leading their attack. And you're listening to coverage of the UEFA Nations League on Talksport 2 with Carling, 18 plus, always drink responsibly. And it's Iceland who will get the game underway wearing all blue, attacking the goal away to our right in the first half. Wales in their traditional all red. And after 2 unbeaten games under Craig Bellamy to kick off the UEFA Nations League, it is a trip close to the Arctic Circle here for Wales as they look to avoid an icy blast before the season really takes shape, as Davis very quickly has been closed down on this near side, but the ricochet forward bounces off the player who challenged him, Gudjonsson, and it will be a throw into Wales on this near side. One back by Willemsen though, one of Birmingham City's new signings this season, and it's all the way back to Håkon Valdemarson, who is the backup goalkeeper in the Premier League for Brentford. And the pitch here is in fairly decent state, and the conditions are a good deal more temperate despite the sub-zero temperatures than they were for the game in Montenegro, which was basically played in a monsoon, and I'm not sure that game really should have been played looking back, as Davis loses out on this near side and the challenge comes in on Oskarsson. And Urga Hareide, the coach of Iceland, already out on the edge of his technical area, of course formerly with Norwich City and Manchester City back in the 1980s. It was Joe Roden with the challenge on Oskarsson, and I'm sure this is the only international game this evening being coached by 2 former Norwich players.
Yes, so he's an experienced man though, and he'll know what he's doing. Just looking at the start of the game there, obviously Wales have got a plan to set a trap for Iceland, and Nico Williams just late on the press.
Here is Williams now, poked infield towards Moore. Wilson was looking to play it further wide towards Johnson on the right, but he was just challenged there as he tried to work it further wide, and it's guided back by Ingerson towards Valdemarson again. Wales have won 5 of their 7 games against Iceland. They were beaten here in a World Cup qualifier back in 1984, which was extremely damaging because Wales eventually lost out to Scotland in their final game, that infamous night in Cardiff when Jock Stein died. As Thordarson brings it forward now, the early cross into the penalty area, guided away by Davis, and Iceland have the game's first corner And Craig Bellamy just wheels away in frustration on the far side as Iceland prepare for a set piece. And it's worth noting they scored 2 set-piece goals against Montenegro in their 2-0 victory.
Yeah, I watched the game and they could have scored 6 or 7. They're a really big physical team. This ball is going to be in swinging on top of Danny Ward, and they've got some big players in their team.
Gretarsson, one of those targets, makes the run towards the near post, but a commanding header away by Roden, and it's controlled by Johan Berg Gudmundsson, formerly with Burnley but now playing in the Saudi Pro League. Vincent wide towards Gudmundsson again on the far side, the Icelandic left, and then it's infield towards Fredriksson, one of a number of the Icelandic team who play in the second tier in Germany, as Sorba Thomas has then been clouted on the back of the head there by Gudmundsson as he slipped, and it will be a free kick for Wales with 3.5 minutes played. Nations League live on Talksport 2, and it's Iceland 0, Wales 0.
Yeah, Gudmundsson, obviously we've seen a lot of him at Burnley. He puts his foot in. He'll be in the middle of that engine room for Iceland tonight, and one thing he will do is stick his foot in.
Now Kiefer Moore chasing a ball down the right, but it's cut out on the edge of the penalty area by Gretarsson. And now Andre Gudjonsson, the son of the former Chelsea and Barcelona striker Idol, the third different generation of the Gudjonsson family to play international football. His dad played in the same team as his dad, as Thomas has been shot down on this near side by Fredriksson, and it will be a free kick for Wales just inside their own half.
And what a player his dad was. I mean, he was just a class act, ended up going to Barcelona. But he's a decent young striker. You know, they've got 2 young strikers up there who give them half a chance, will take a chance. One's at Real Sociedad, Gudjonsson's at Genk in Belgium. But they've got a goal record.
Now Nico Williams, wearing gloves, plays it down the line far side, looking for Wilson. And Jordan James, who is back in the midfield, now playing for Rennes in France after leaving Birmingham following their relegation. Although he's been used very sparingly in the French league this season. Only 3 appearances from the bench. It's been won back by Ollie Cooper of Swansea, who is wearing Aaron Ramsey's number 10 shirt in midfield this evening.
Iceland just sitting off Wales, letting them play across the back. Ben Davies to Roden to Nico Williams, just waiting for a trigger to press Wales.
Now Thomas, who had such a fine game against Turkey, plays it in field, but it's a poor ball beyond Connor Roberts, and now played forward quickly for Iceland into Oscarsson, and now wide towards the far side, and they briefly had an overlap there. Gudjonsson has Finson in support, but in the end it goes all the way back towards the halfway line, and Fredriksson wide towards this near side again. Ingasson. And Wales need to ensure that with 6 minutes played that Kiefer Moore doesn't get too isolated. He needs players like Johnson, Wilson and Thomas to get closer to him at times, and Wales do have the ball inside the Icelandic half. Now Gudjonsson takes it down neatly on the far side. Similar sort of build to his dad. A rangy striker with very good feet. And he's won a throw-in on the far side.
Yeah, he's solid. Well, you know, Nigel, look at Wales there trying to press. When you practice these pressing sessions in training, it's not the first man who closes down who wins the ball back. It's normally the second or third.
Now Willemsen on this near side, comes in field onto the left foot. Great challenge though by Cooper to block on the edge of the penalty area. Gudmundsson now, but Cooper working hard to make the challenge. Then he stumbles, out-muscled by Gudmundsson, but he does force Ingasson to go all the way back towards Valdemarsson, who controls the Icelandic goalkeeper 15 yards outside his penalty area.
Yeah, good challenge from Ollie Cooper there. He struggled in the last game against Montenegro. Admittedly, the conditions were terrible, but he's got a block in there, and you do say, first thing you do, get it right. He has.
Now a long ball played forward for Iceland again. Gudjonsson inside the penalty area. The cross there has been blocked by Connor Roberts, who plays it back towards Danny Ward, but the flag is up for offside, and it will be a Wales free kick. Connor Roberts was injured in the previous game and has only just come back into the Burnley side. Came off the bench last week, but the offside decision given against Ori Oskarsson, who was offside as he tried to shepherd it through towards Gudjonsson on the edge of the penalty area. Nearly 8 minutes played on Talksport 2, and it's goalless in Reykjavik.
Both teams, similar tactics. Sit off, wait for a trigger to press, and when you win the ball back, everybody can get forward, stream forward. Iceland are doing it. There's a bit of a warning there. Joe Rodon just got under the ball. Luckily, the linesman put his flag up. But they are sitting off Wales in a sort of a mid-block. Difficult to play through that.
But the one player missing for Wales this evening is Ethan Ampadu, and there's not really another player in the squad who does what he does now. Now he's really got up to speed in international football. Jordan James has come in, but he maybe doesn't quite have the security on the ball that Ampadu does.
No, and I see Ethan Ampadu as a centre-back come midfield player. I think he makes you solid. He's more of a destructive than a constructive player. But, he holds his own in most games. And he's getting better and better. So, you could have a midfield out there tonight of Ramsey, Allen and Ampadu. Looks slightly different to the one they've got out there tonight. Much better. But injuries, they all get injuries, and it's a chance for Ollie Cooper and Jordan James to stamp their place.
And Joe Allen, coaxed out of international retirement, but not making the squad for this game at least. Wales are at home to Montenegro on Monday, but with Ampadu out certainly for the games in November, which include that trip to Turkey, which could be pivotal to decide who wins this group. Bellamy does need more options in midfield, as it's played back by Kiefer Moore. Of course, by this stage in their previous away game, Wales were already 2 goals up. But a different story so far this evening, with nearly 10 minutes played, 0-0. Williams on this near side, going all the way back to Davis, wearing the captain's armband, and Danny Ward back in the Wales goal this evening. Only a couple of League Cup appearances for Leicester City so far this season. And once again, Wales have 3 goalkeepers with very little first-team football behind them, but that's an occupational hazard for Craig Bellamy these days. Williams now with a good ball over the top, looking for Harry Wilson, brings it down superbly. Valdemarson makes the save. Does he keep it out? No, he doesn't. Brennan Johnson turns it in on the goal line, and Wales have the opening goal. Brennan Johnson in red hot for Tottenham delivers for his country. A tap in from only a couple of inches out. Harry Wilson deserving all of the credit. A fantastic break for midfield. His shot partially saved by Valdemarson, but following up was Johnson, almost on the goal line, but he'll take it, and so will Wales. They lead 1-0.
Well, it's a fantastic run from Harry Wilson. Solver Thomas comes deep, gives it back to Nico Williams. He hits a 40-yard ball over the top. Harry Wilson's timed his run. The ball's coming over his shoulder, and he's done a Mo Salah on the top of his laces. Great touch. Slots it past the keeper, but the ball's not going in. The keeper scrambles back, hooks it off his line, and there's Brendan Johnson stealing the goal off Harry Wilson. They'll have a laugh about that, but he's there, Johnny on the spot again.
In fairness, Valdemarson had actually got back and knocked the ball out.
Yeah.
Had Johnson not got there, then I don't think the ball would have got into the back of the net. So Johnson, it's imperative he was there, and he's a player at the moment who just knows where the goal is.
Well, that's just belief, and believing you're going to score from every attack. When you're not scoring, you hope you score. But when you are scoring, you actually believe every ball's going to come to you. He's followed in. The keeper's made a miraculous save to hook it off the line. A bit like last night, Colwell's clearance off the line for England. It looked in, but he's got his arm around it. But Brennan Johnson is the first to react, and he gets the easiest goal he'll ever score in his life.
But he'll take it because he really needs a goal for Wales. This is his 31st appearance. That's only his 4th goal, but you've got to start somewhere, and he started in Reykjavik tonight. 7 in 7. Absolutely.
Great start for Wales. And would I be right in saying, Nige, if we win this game tonight, it more or less secures us a spot?
Well, I think if they win tonight, they will be firm favourites to finish at least second, and it would really come down to the game against Turkey on a Saturday evening in November. That could potentially decide who wins the group. At the moment, this is Group B4. It's 0-0 between Turkey and Montenegro, but the situation in the group as it stands, Wales on top with 7 points, Turkey second with 5 and Iceland with 3. So if Wales win this game, they would be in a very strong position, with home games still to come against Iceland and Montenegro.
Long way to go, 12 minutes gone, but a good start.
And it's so important for Brennan Johnson to be back amongst the goals for Wales. Of course, he scored against Finland in the semi-finals of the playoffs, but it's been some time really that he's been a consistent performer for Wales. He had his moments in the Nations League, the previous edition, when Wales were playing the Netherlands and Belgium around the Ukraine game when they qualified for the World Cup. Played very well during that series of matches, but really barely got a sniff at the World Cup, and since then he's not quite been at it.
No, I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, when you get on a run. I was similar when I played. I was a streak scorer. You have like batches of you don't score in 7 and then score 7 in 7. So he's on a roll right now, and whoever had a bet on him before the game, 12 minutes that bet lasted, Brennan Johnson to score the first goal. But I have to say again, Harry Wilson's touch, he's running flat out through the middle of the centre-backs, a 40-yard ball coming over his shoulder, and the ball, he's brought it down on the top of his laces, cushioned it right in his path. Keeper's come out and smothered him, but Harry done all the work, tap in for Brennan Johnson.
Iceland looking to respond now on the far side. 14 minutes play, but once again they're caught in the Welsh offside trap. It was Jon Dagur Thorsteinsson who has been penalised, and Wilson came into this game with 3 goals and 4 assists in his last 8 starts for Wales. He won't get the assist there, but he did everything but get the assist.
I like Harry Wilson. Every game he plays, he has an impact. He either makes a goal or scores a goal, hits the bar, or gets saves as shots. There's lots of wingers out there who actually flatter to deceive. Harry Wilson, for me, as an end product.
And he's a player who's played only 36 minutes for Fulham in the Premier League this season. Of course, it's an issue, a recurring issue for Wales, but Craig Bellamy was trying to turn it into a positive this week by saying the Premier League players, many of them come into the international camps as fresh. They're not jaded. They've certainly not been playing too much, and the quality of work they do in training is of a high quality, but it's difficult to replicate match practice and match fitness.
And you can't get them fit in a week. You've only got them for not even a week. You can't get them fit, you can't get them unfit. But it is a problem for us not having Premier League players in the team. I think this is the worst we've been for about 25 years, of a quota of players playing in the Premier League, starting for the teams. So he's got a tough job on his hands, Craig.
Well, Brennan Johnson and Nico Williams, the only regular Premier League starters in this squad. Of course, Ben Davies is not around the Tottenham Premier League team at the moment, although with their commitments in Europe, he will get games this season, as Nico Williams comes in with a challenge on Gudmundsson on this near side. One other goal in the Nations League so far this evening. Also in League B, this level, Czechia lead Albania by a 1-0. Thomas Chori of Slavia Prague with the early goal there. Taken down well on the far side by Thorsteinsson for Iceland. And a good ball into the penalty area. And it was driven low by Finson. Blocked on the far side. Thorsteinsson will keep the ball in play down the left. Plays it back towards Willemsen. But the high cross in is beyond everybody. And it's gone behind for a goal kick. You're listening to Nations League Live on Talksport 2. Iceland 0, Wales 1. Plenty of live football coming up during this international break weekend. Tomorrow on Talksport 2, 12:30, John Dunn and Neil Redfern will bring you Chesterfield against Notts County from League 2. Not quite a derby, but not too much distance between them on the M1. Then it's Arsenal against Chelsea over on Talksport, 1:45 with Ian Danter and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk from the Women's Super League. As Wales give the ball away inside their own penalty area, but it's quickly won back by Rodon from Thorsteinsson, and then the free kick's being conceded by Thordarson on the far side. The challenge on Connor Roberts, and that will have hurt on a bitterly cold evening. And our Bosnian referee Anthony Bandic has given Wales the free kick. And also on Talksport 2 tomorrow, we have Peterborough against Rotherham from League One with Adam Bridge and Mickey Gray.
Well, there you go, Nigel. I'm sure people listening are wondering, like me, Wales playing out from the back, from Danny Ward, rolls I call it an intensive care pass into Jordan James in the middle of the D, out, and they give the ball away, nearly concede a goal. You're 1-0 up in Iceland, 18 minutes on the clock. There's no need to play out from the back in your own 18-yard box. I don't know why they do it. You're just giving the opposition a chance.
Now Gudmundsson has caught Kiefer Moore just inside the Iceland half, although I'm not sure he would have got to the pass anyway. But it is an attacking free kick for Wales, just inside the Icelandic half. The Wales fans in the stand on the far side, and I think the Winter Woolies have got their first airing of the season for many of those Welsh supporters. Wilson with the free kick, high into the penalty area, volleyed across towards Kiefer Moore, and the volley at the near post just sets up nicely for Valdemarson. It was a clever free kick into Johnson, and Moore just unable to make contact. Now on the counter-attack, Thorsteinsson for Iceland coming forward down the left, checks back beyond the challenge of Davis. Wilson comes in with a rather ugly challenge, and in the end the referee tells both Wilson and Thorsteinsson to get up.
Well, Thorsteinsson looks like he's got a bit of skill playing on the left. He's dropped his shoulder, come in field, and he kept cutting across the pitch, avoiding challenges, and eventually he ran into Harry Wilson, and Harry Wilson looks like he's taken an elbow in the teeth. Thorsteinsson in the end fell over. I think it was a foul, but the ref never give it.
It was a partial body check from Harry Wilson. I think he went to body check him and he missed him.
Yeah, he missed him, and Thorsteinsson's got him in the teeth.
The Wales had an opportunity. It was a clever set piece in towards Brennan Johnson. The volleyed ball into the penalty area, and Kiefer Moore just unable to make the contact to make it 2-0. 20 minutes played here on Talksport 2. Of course, our Nations League action continues on Sunday on Talksport. 5 o'clock kickoff. Finland against England with our regular team led by Adrian Durham. And fair to say, it is a big game for Lee Carsley and England after what happened last night. And we'll look back on that in more detail during half-time in this game. As Wilson plays it wide to Roberts on the far side. The ball forward, though, doesn't find Kiefer Moore. It's quickly cut out by Gretarsson. And now Thordarson of Preston North End will bring it forward on the far side. Wide towards Thorsteinsson, seen plenty of the ball. Driven low into the near post, but cut out by Roden. But it will come straight back. But the shot fired in from Finson is high and wide onto the running track behind that goal.
Yeah, Iceland are huffing and puffing around the 18-yard box, but can't seem to get a clear strike on target. A lot of the shots going over the bar, crosses are hitting the near post. But they look like they've got a goal in them. Yeah, as you were saying there, Harry Wilson's free kick, the reverse dink over the top for Brennan Johnson. Lovely flighted ball. Could have gone 2-0 up.
Now Wilson has gone down again as Wales look to clear. And Wales are not retaining the ball with great regularity at the moment, Oscarsson, but it's a poor ball from him. And now Harry Wilson can get on it and quickly play it wide towards Brennan Johnson, who must be full of confidence down the right-hand side. Back towards Wilson again, the cross in looking for Moore. It's headed away by Ingarsson, and Iceland will clear. Gudmundsson with a long up and under over the top, looking for Oscarsson, but before the ball drops, it's cut out by Nico Williams, and it's guided back to Danny Ward.
Yeah, that's your problem, Nigel. I found in my career coaching and playing, the best players in the world, they do the simple things well most of the time. They don't give the ball away. You can't get the ball off them. And Wales, you can see some of the players consistently lose the ball or play passes that don't exist and give the ball away. But, that's why Man City are the best team in the world. They can play any system they like. De Bruyne, Silva, they don't give the ball away. That's why they're top players.
And we've also got two former Manchester City players in the technical areas tonight, Igor Harada and Craig Bellamy, from very different eras. I think John Bond, he gave me a free transfer at Swansea, by the way. Yeah, he set you on the way to stardom, didn't he? He was also, I think, Igor Harada's manager at both Norwich and Manchester City. Now Thomas. Back towards Nico Williams again. Thomas looks to make that dart in behind, but Wales now looking to play keep ball on the halfway line, leading by 1-0. And Wales do still have the look of a work in progress, but if they can win the games while doing that, then that is all power to the elbow of Craig Bellamy. Now Johnson back in field again towards Wilson, and Wales for the first time in the game are keeping the ball effectively. As Kiefer Moore plays it in towards Wilson. Now wide to Johnson down the right-hand side. He's got the opportunity to come in field. Wilson on the edge of the penalty area. Left foot curling, deflected. Hits the post. It'll come out again towards Johnson down the right-hand side. And Harry Wilson, with the help of that hefty ricochet, almost made it 2-0 to Wales.
Yeah, he's so unlucky. I mean, they've put 15 passes together there. It's probably another 15 since the ball's hit the post and come out to Brendan. But Harry Wilson cuts inside on his left foot, hits his shot, gets deflected. The goalkeeper's gone completely the wrong way, and unluckily the ball hits the post. But that's better. Keep the ball in the last third, then you can try things. But in the middle of the pitch, if you keep the ball, eventually you get your best players on it in the last third.
Banners on the far side from Dinas Powys and Barry. The Welsh Dragons from all over the country here tonight in Reykjavik, as Williamson wins it for Iceland on the edge of the penalty area, cuts it back looking for Oscarsson, but it's played away by Roberts. Gathered now on this near side by Fridriksson, and Gudmundsson will go back to the halfway line. And Gretarsson, former Blackpool player, finds the former Burnley man, Johan Berg Gudmundsson. Gretarsson again. Ingarsson. Wales leading thanks to a tap-in from Brennan Johnson after 11 minutes. And since then, Harry Wilson has seen a deflected shot come back off the post. You're listening to coverage of Iceland against Wales in the UEFA Nations League on Talksport 2 with Carling. 18 plus, always drink responsibly, as Jordan James has been bowled over by Gudjónsson on the far side, and Wales have a free kick.
Kiefer Moore, for me, has to use his experience when the ball goes dead, like now, for example. Sorba Thomas and Brennan Johnson are either side of him when he's trying to press. He's sprinting the two centre-backs, but Sorba Thomas is too deep. He's not really pushing up with Kiefer Moore, so he's like a headless chicken, Kiefer Moore. So you should have a word with Sorba, tell him to get a bit nearer, a bit higher up, and start sprinting before the centre-backs pass the ball to the full-back.
Moore now turning nicely, and there's an overload for Wales down the right-hand side. Wilson on towards Johnson again. First-time ball, high to the far post. Kiefer Moore nods it down, but there was nobody waiting in a red shirt. Cooper was possibly on his heels, and now a long ball played forward for Iceland, headed wide to the far side by Davis, and here is Oscarsson, and he's got the support again from Thorsteinsson. Oscarsson again, left-hand side, low ball driven in, looking for the run of Gudjónsson, and in the end Roden has to put it behind for a corner.
Well, there you go. You can't have it always. If both your full-backs are joining in every attack, Connor Roberts out of position and you lose the ball or it gets cleared, then Joe Roden's in a race in the channel with their strikers and they create a chance from it. So, you know, that's the price you pay for playing wide open football.
Turkey still goalless at home to Montenegro this evening. Also in this group B4. Corner kick for Iceland, driven out towards the edge of the penalty area. Wilson gets there first. James then leaping with Fridriksson to try and get the ball further away. Fridriksson then managing to roll the challenge of James on the edge of the penalty area, wide towards Gudjónsson again. Gudjónsson onto his left foot, drifting the ball in, and it was flicked on by Gretarsson, but all the way through towards Danny Ward.
Yeah, and Iceland have got 6 players in the box there. They're not sitting back. They are trying to come back with something to throw at Wales.
Johnson has now lost out to Thorsteinsson on the far side. He comes in field again. He's had a fine game for Iceland so far. Now Willemsen, that familiar loping gait. Birmingham fans will be familiar with that, but it's won back by Nico Williams, and Williams has then been taken out on the halfway line by Stefan Teitur Thordarson, and the Preston man picks up the game's first yellow card.
He's absolutely slaughtering his teammate there. You know, it's a professional foul from Thordarson, but he's had to do it because Nico Williams is, I mean, that is stomach high, that tackle, but it is, I think, I don't know what to say about that. Was it an attempted trip that ended up going too high? But he's got a yellow card for it, but he's slaughtering his teammate for giving the ball away. Nice to see that. I didn't think that happened anymore. Players having a go at each other.
Well, Thordarson getting back into position. Wales here with another free kick. Roden in again towards Kiefer Moore, and it's laid back to Roberts. And the criticism of Rob Page was you could never really define Wales' style of play. And people talk about philosophies, and you knew what it was under Chris Coleman. It was soak it up and you look for your game changers, and that's what Wales did very effectively over a number of years, as Williams plays an excellent ball forward again. Williams making that running behind, and he scores brilliantly. Harry Wilson again, and Wales lead 2-0, and Harry Wilson is putting on an attacking midfielders clinic here. Another break beyond the Icelandic back four, and this time he buried it. And Craig Bellamy is heading for another victory as Wales coach away from home. Iceland 0, Wales 2.
Well, there you go. There's the man, Harry Wilson. I mean, it's an exact replica of the first goal. Nico Williams hits a 40-yard ball, exact same ball, over the top of the two centre-backs. Harry Wilson runs again, off the back of his man. Another brilliant touch with his right foot. Side foot finish this time round the keeper. But it was an exact replica, timed his run perfectly. And if I was coaching Iceland, I'd say, right, that's twice we've been done holding our line when there's no pressure on the ball. And Harry Wilson's run, brilliant, 2-0 up. He's involved in everything we do.
And I'll take you back to very different surroundings. The Olympic Stadium in Baku in the Euros in 2021 when Wales played Turkey. Ramsey picked out Ramsey with that ball all night. They scored the first goal from that. Turkey couldn't cope with it, and I wonder if Craig Bellamy's been watching the videos, because that is a replica of the goal that Ramsey scored in that game.
Yeah, it is. I was thinking of saying it when I was summing the goal up, but I think Harry Wilson's just got an instinct of danger. He smells danger. He knows where to run. He's got a great left foot. I'm puzzled why you don't play that many games for Fulham.
Well, Wales are reaping the benefit at the moment, seemingly. 2 up here with half an hour played, but Iceland looking to respond here. Gudjonsson flicks it in. Did it cross the line? It was cleared off the line by Nico Williams. He scored, or helped to make one, and very quickly he has kept out a certain goal at the other end.
Well, that's like scoring the other end. Nico Williams has got back on the line. It's just another late run cutback from the byline. It's in, it's beaten Danny Ward, but Nico Williams gets back on the line, hooks it off the line. Good attack, good constructed chance from Iceland, showing that they're not dead and buried yet.
Well, the goal line technology clearly helping Wales out net there. There's going to be a yellow card shown in the aftermath of that. Gudjonsson and Johnson were the two players involved. And it was Thorsteinsson actually, and the ball actually was not even in play, and Thorsteinsson clashing there with Johnson, who tried to win it back. He actually knocked it out of Thorsteinsson's hands. Then there was a coming together. Thorsteinsson went down in instalments after Johnson had got involved with him. He's picked up a yellow card, and he will be suspended for the game against Montenegro coming up in Cardiff on Monday.
Yeah, he's blowing kisses at him now. But he's lucky there, Brennan Johnson. I mean, he's trying to get the ball out of the lad's hands. He's pushed his hand through his elbow that was holding the ball, and then he's turned and put his hands up into the player's throat, which he could have got a red card for that. He's got away with it.
Well, we've just seen the replay of the Nico Williams clearance off the line, and the ball was definitely in front of the line when he got there, but it was a close run thing. And again, that is the warning for Wales, because the longer the game went on against Montenegro, they looked more and more vulnerable from a position where they led 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's just got to be looking 32 minutes. Right, keep it tight. Danny Wood, don't be rolling balls out from the back into the D. With players with their back to goal, don't be doing it. There's no need. We're 2-0 up. Get into half-time. Don't give them anything. Try and score a third goal second half. Put the game to bed.
Well, Harry Wilson on a hat-trick, of course. And Thor Steinsson was also booked for that incident involving Brennan Johnson, and he'll miss Iceland's next game, which is a big one here against Turkey.
Is he on a hat-trick?
No, he's not, is he?
No, Brennan Johnson's nicked that goal off him.
He nicked it off him, but he was very close to being on a hat-trick, of course. Johnson with the first, Wilson with the second. That's what you're here for, Dean. As Jordan James has been fouled by Gudjonsson, and Wales have a free kick here. Other goals going in: Bosnia 0, Germany 1. Deniz Undav has scored the opening goal there. And Slovakia 0, Sweden 1. Yasin Ayari with the opening goal. Here in Reykjavik, Wales leading by 2-0. And they've had their problems with Iceland over the years. There was that infamous game back in 1981 when Wales basically needed to beat Iceland at the Vetchfield in Swansea to qualify for the 1982 World Cup. It was a match disrupted by floodlight failures. There were Cardiff and Swansea fans fighting among themselves in the crowd, and somehow Wales contrived to draw that game 2-2, and they missed out behind the Soviet Union and Czechoslovakia on goal difference. One of the hard luck stories for Wales, although on that night it was entirely self-inflicted.
I'm not sure the date, Nigel, but I was in Iceland with Wales when the earthquake happened. I was actually on a golf course with Roy Evans and Paul Jones when the earthquake happened.
The volcano and the ice cloud. That would have been about 2010.
Yeah, 2010, and we won 1-0. But that was a strange experience. Didn't feel anything on the golf course, but lots of the players did in the hotel.
Oh, the ash cloud, that was it, not the ice cloud.
The ash cloud, yeah.
I remember having to drive to Hamburg to cover Fulham in the Europa League because there were no flights. So it's thrown in from Fridriksson, who then gets it back and plays a high ball forward for Iceland towards Gudjonsson on the edge of the penalty area. Willemsen, Oscarsson turning on the edge of the area, and he was caught there by Davis, and it's a free kick for Iceland in a good position here with 35 minutes played. Wales leading 2-0, but since the second goal, Iceland have been in the ascendancy.
Yeah, it's a stupid foul to give away from Ben Davis. Unlike Ben, he just stuck his foot in when there was no need. Just stay on your feet. They've got a free kick now. Looks like a left footer 20 yards out. Wall's going up. They'll be looking to get this up and down into Danny Ward's top left-hand corner.
Danny Ward just sorting out the wall. 9 minutes to play in the first half. Gudmundsson is over the free kick. Ollie Cooper is the draft excluder at the foot of the Wales wall. Hungary 1, Netherlands 0 in the Nations League. Roland Solai with the opening goal in Budapest. It'll be Gudmundsson or Oscarsson. It's Gudmundsson who curls it, and it ripples the roof of the netting.
Yeah, just too high from Gudmundsson. He's trying to put it in that top corner high up, but the ball's just hit the top of the net. I'm looking at Ollie Cooper there laying down the draft excluder. If you're going to be the draft excluder, at least face the ball, not facing your own goalkeeper, because if the ball does hit the wall and squirt sideways, you can't see it. At least you can get up off the floor if the ball's and have an effect. He's facing the other way. Can't be scared of the ball, surely.
Bosnia 0, Germany 2. Deniz Undav with a second goal for the Germans this evening. Iceland 0, Wales 2 here with 8 minutes to play in the first half. And Jack, our producer, has reminded me that had it not been for the ash cloud, Robert Lewandowski would have signed for Blackburn, but he couldn't get there.
That's why you're here, Nigel. Good start.
That's why Jack's there. It's nothing to do with me. Anyway, 37 minutes played. Sorba Thomas has been penalised on this near side. Ken Semmer has made it 2-0 to Sweden, away to Slovakia, also in the Nations League. And we have England travelling to Finland. Full commentary of that game on Talksport on Sunday. Ukraine have also gone 1-up against Georgia in the last few moments. Mikhailo Mudryk with the opening goal there, and he was the player who scored the winning goal against Iceland to deny them a place at Euro 2024. They met Ukraine in Leverkusen in the playoff final. They were a goal up at half-time, but ended up losing 2-1. Gudmundsson with a high ball forward now for Iceland, wide to the far side, cut out by Connor Roberts, who was then fouled, was he, by Thorsteinsson? Well, he goes down, thinks he was pushed, but a throw-in's been given to Iceland. Finson back now towards the far side, a high ball into the area. Williamson using his height to knock it down for Gudmundsson. Gudmundsson curls it, and it pings off the head of Ben Davies behind for a corner.
Yeah, I have to say Iceland are 2-0 down, but they are getting bodies into the box. They are getting bodies forward. And if they keep doing that, they will get chances. There's another chance. But basically, Iceland have been done with 2 long balls over the top. Say, play all the football you like. 2 David Platt-like runs from Harry Wilson, timed his runs over the top for those, well, I say older members. David Platt, remember David Platt's runs?
Making the runs from midfield.
Timing it perfect. Frank Lampard was the same.
Going further back, Ray Kennedy used to do it for Liverpool.
Martin Peters for England, the ghost.
Yep, ask your granddad. It's a throw-in on this near side for Wales, which Williams will take in again towards Sorba Thomas. And now Davis all the way back. I was going to ask you before the second goal was scored about a style of play. I know Craig Bellamy's chopping around with formations and personnel at the minute, and he doesn't have everybody fit who we'd like in the team, but can we discern a style of play?
Yeah, you can see it. I would just be saying to him, there's a few players out there who are just a little bit untidy with the ball. You know, a bit careless. Both fullbacks, Nico Williams and Connor Roberts, when you get stuck and you get impressed, don't give the ball away cheaply by putting a ball inside that's the wrong side of someone or too hard. Sorba Thomas is a bit loose on the ball. So you have to tidy your game up and not give them a chance.
Connor Roberts has just been booked here for delaying the game. And you can hear there, apologies for the language, Craig Bellamy telling the 4th official exactly what he thinks about that, and has a microphone right underneath his nose. And he's talking to Dragan Petrovic, the 4th official, and then it all ends in smiles. And that was a typical Craig Bellamy argument. He makes his point, uses an expletive, and then smiles.
Yeah, well,
you will have seen that a few times.
Well, yeah, but no one ever put a microphone under my mouth when one of my players got booked. How's he got that? But yeah, Connor Roberts has been booked, so he'll have to be careful. Stay on your feet. Don't beat yourselves now. You're 2-0 up. Don't give them anything.
Played wide by Cooper towards this near side, the left, and Sorba Thomas. The opportunity to cut it back towards Wilson on the edge of the penalty area. Brennan Johnson takes over. Right foot shot is blocked, and in the end, it's Vincent who comes away with the ball with that short blonde-haired ponytail bobbing. And Joe Roden on the halfway line will gather for Wales. But going forward, Wales have looked very good at times, and we are beginning to see the sort of combination play that Craig Bellamy's been looking for.
Yeah, and for me, Iceland, they're trying to get forward and play as well, but they look a bit punchless. You know, I know they've had one cleared off the line, but a lot of the strikes from the edge of the box have been weak. But they are getting bodies forward, but getting done on the counter-attack as well.
Played forward by Williams. Thomas looking to make the turn beyond Fredriksson, but he'd read that. But then Jordan James comes in with a solid challenge on Williamson, and Wales will look to build again here with Harry Wilson. Slips it through towards Sorba Thomas. Brilliant run. Thomas sees the shot though, blocked by the legs of Valdemarsson. And once again, Iceland are wide open down the centre. But here is Williams with another ball into the penalty area, and in the end it will go all the way through for a goal kick, but Sorba Thomas there with a really good opportunity to score his first goal for Wales.
Well, I mean, it's a magnificent pass from Harry Wilson again. Through the eye of a needle, Sorba Thomas makes a similar run from deep. In behind, the ball goes between the two centre-backs, and there's a difference between a Premier League player and one who doesn't play in the Premier League. He's got to score. He's got to score. He's coming across his body on his left foot, and he's flicked it straight into the keeper's chest.
Oscarsson now turning and dragging a shot wide from fully 30 yards for Iceland with just over 2 minutes to play in the first half here on Talksport 2. Iceland 0, Wales 2 in the UEFA Nations League. Group B4, still 0-0 between Turkey and Montenegro. And Wales have got Montenegro coming up in Cardiff on Monday. And if they win here, they will be in a very strong position. As Danny Ward, under pressure from Gudmundsson, plays it wide to the far side, and then Roden will just chip it straight out of play for a throw-in to Iceland. And Iceland have only lost 2 competitive games in their last 10 here, against Slovakia and Portugal in June of 2023. And let's not forget as well, Thorsteinsson, the player we've been talking about, scored the winner for Iceland at Wembley against England before the Euros. That was only back in June. But at the moment, Iceland have had their chances, but so too have Wales. It could be 4-2.
Yeah, and Iceland's 2 centre-backs struggling with the movement.
Here is Thomas again. Down the left-hand side, only Kiefer Moore waits inside the penalty area. Thomas back onto the right foot, swings in the cross, but it's volleyed away by Ingarsson. Headed back over the top by Roden again. Gudmundsson will cushion it back towards Ingarsson again on the edge of his own penalty area. Kiefer Moore buzzing around, trying to make the challenge. Ingarsson, though, eventually will scoop it wide to this near side. It flicked off the head of Thomas, and it will be a throw-in for Iceland. Very important for Wales that they get to half-time 2-up.
Well, Sorba Thomas has got a chance to put the game to bed there. It's a great run, great pass, terrible finish. I don't know what he was trying to do.
All Roberts with a back pass now to Ward, who does well to deal with it. Oscarsson, though, will quickly gather. Gudjonsson manages to flick it wide towards Finson down the right. And now Thordarson again. And we're into a minimum of just 1 more minute at the end of the first half. Fredriksson finding Willemsen again. High in swinging cross from him. Gudjonsson beaten to it by Roden, who has missed nothing in the air so far. Kiefer Moore now looking to hold the ball up, and he was dragged to the ground by Ingarsson, and it will be a free kick for Wales.
Yeah, I think we're getting at half-time now, and I think the way they're throwing bodies forward, Iceland, and they have from the start, not just because they're 2-0 down, I would think Craig will change the tactics slightly and say, right, let them come forward then. Let them come to a point, and can we find Brennan Johnson? Or either with the first pass, and we're counter-attacking, or we hit Kiefer Moore, and the second pass goes in behind for Brennan. And try and get 3-0 up.
Wales have had the opportunities to do that, but equally Iceland have seen a shot cleared off the line by Williams. Thomas now flicks it inside towards Kiefer Moore, and the return ball towards Thomas, and he's quick enough to get there. Down the left-hand side, Wilson, the only red shirt inside the penalty area, pulled back to Kiefer Moore. Cruyff turned from him, back out wide to the left-hand side again. Moore was caught off the ball there by Gudjonsson. Thomas down the channel for Cooper. Back towards Thomas again. Wales finishing the first half on top and in control as the half-time whistle goes. And it's a first half which has all been about Harry Wilson. 2 inspired breaks from midfield. On the first occasion, his shot was scrambled away by Håkon Valdemarsson, but Brennan Johnson was there to turn the ball over the line in the 11th minute. And then Williams picking out Wilson again with a run in behind the 2 central defenders, and this time he made no mistake just before the half hour. And at half time, the Welsh team head down the tunnel wreathed in smiles, leading by 2-0. And we can always nitpick, but if you're 2-up away from home in a competitive game, you've got to say well played.
Yeah, 8 out of 10. They've had one cleared off the line, Iceland, but apart from that, the shots have been weak. ball striking from the edge of the box, poor, even though they've been getting bodies forward. But we've not played absolutely brilliantly, but they've sat off us, so we've not had a chance to pop it round them. You know, they've sat back and they've conceded 2 goals from 40-yard balls over the top between the 2 centre-backs, and Harry Wilson's had the best 45 minutes in a Welsh shirt for me. He's made 2 brilliant runs and he's hit a through ball, and he does have an end product.
And also as well, we talk about a start of play, but you've also got to respond to the questions the game asked you. And either Craig Bellamy or the players realised it, that Iceland were playing a very square high line and there was space in behind, and they've exploited that superbly.
Yeah, and you're fine. You know, I think back to when I was playing them, we'd say we drew a League One team in the FA Cup or the League Cup, and that team had not conceded a goal all season. We'd beat them 5-0, Liverpool or Villa, because the defenders couldn't cope with the movement. That's the thing they struggle with, movement and the ball arriving at the right time. So you've got intelligent midfield players hitting through balls for intelligent runners, and they really struggle with that. And looking at Iceland's back 4, you can see they don't play at the highest level.
And after 4 games without a goal before the Montenegrin game, 2 goals in the first half, 2 goals here tonight, Wales have had 7 shots, 5 on target. When was the last time Wales had 5 shots on target in a half?
Yeah, and I'm pleased Brennan Johnson's got a goal, because it might stop us all, including myself, saying, you know, he's got to do it in a red shirt. So he's got a goal under his belt. I know he nicked it off Harry, but the difference between the 2 teams has been Harry Wilson. And Nico Williams deserves a bit of credit for the 40-yard balls he's put over the top.
Well, Wales looking good at the moment, away from home in the Nations League. Once again, we've got the whole of the second half coming up shortly, but at half-time, it is Iceland 0, Wales 2.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the English Football League. Coverage of the UEFA Nations League on Talksport 2 with Carling. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
You might want to step back from your speaker or remove your headphones.
Yes! I just can't believe it.
Mark's found out he's won £11.4 million on Lotto.
This is just... You know what? I've got tears in my eyes.
Yep, that's 11.4 million. Lotto, will you be the next millionaire? The National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Hey, it's Roman here. Have you seen the new iPhone 16 Pro and its new camera control? You can now access your camera tools so fast you'll always capture the perfect shot. What's even better, now at Vodafone, you can get a new iPhone every year thanks to Vodafone Exchange and get that new iPhone feeling every year. Go online or in-store today. Vodafone, the nation's network.
Exchange on iPhone 16 series or pristine refurb phones. 12 months before phone plan ends. Trade in good condition and upgrade every year based on 24-month plan. See vodafone.co.uk/exchange for terms and verification.
At NatWest, we think Britain's small businesses are a big deal. It's why we've helped more businesses get started in the last year than any other UK bank. Get 2 years free banking on everyday transactions when you open a NatWest startup account, plus free digital tools and expert advice. Ready to take your first step? Search NatWest Business. Tomorrow begins today with NatWest, proud partner of Team GB. To verify, email checkit@natwest.com. Eligibility criteria, terms and conditions apply. Other fees may apply.
The big paint event is now on at Wickes. Save on Dulux standard 2.5 litre coloured emulsion was £22, now £15. Shop now. Terms apply.
Nothing tastes better than a free mini McFlurry.
Free? How?
I just signed up for rewards on the McDonald's app.
I bet it tastes better when it's free.
Go on then, have the rest.
Sign up on the My McDonald's Rewards and get a free mini McFlurry and 1,000 points when you place your first order. 18 plus, only via app at participating restaurants. Register by the 20th of October and order within 14 days. Minimum spend required. Terms apply.
Aldi's amazing Autumn Super 6 fresh fruit and veg lineup is ready. From just 69p each, baby potatoes, Chantenay carrots, chestnut mushrooms and mini apples, all British, plus mango and sugar snap peas. The perfect time to wrap up some real savings in store at Aldi this week.
Coverage of the UEFA Nations League on Talksport 2 with Carling. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Pushing the apex of live football.
Oh, there's the header and it's in!
Captivating coverage. The Nations League live on Talksport 2.
Close to the Arctic Circle here for Wales as they look to avoid an icy blast before the season really takes shape. Williams now with a good ball over the top, looking for Harry Wilson, brings it down superbly. Valdemarson makes the save, does he keep it out? No, he doesn't. Brennan Johnson turns it in on the goal line, and Wales have the opening goal. Brennan Johnson delivers for his country.
The ball's coming over his shoulder, and he's done a Mo Salah on the top of his laces.
He's got the opportunity to come in field. Wilson on the edge of the penalty area, left foot curling, deflected, hits the post. And Harry Wilson, with the help of that hefty ricochet, almost made it 2-0 to Wales. Williams plays an excellent ball forward again. Williams making that running behind, and he scores brilliantly. Harry Wilson again, and Wales lead 2-0. And Harry Wilson is putting on an attacking midfielder's clinic here. And at half-time, the Welsh team head down the tunnel, wreathed in smiles, leading by 2-0. And we have full second-half commentary coming up from Reykjavik in a few minutes' time here on Talksport 2. It is also half-time as well at Dean Court, the Vitality Stadium. England's under-21 side meeting Ukraine this evening, and we can say good evening to Ian Abrahams.
Good evening. England 0, Ukraine 0, a game that England have to win really to guarantee their qualification in the finals next summer. And at the break it's goalless, but they have been the better side. The best chance to Manchester City's James McAtee, 2 in fact, 1 in curl wide of the far post. Even better chance though, 6 yards out, right hand side of the area. The goalkeeper from Ukraine came out and made a very smart save. Liam Delap has been a handful up front. We've also seen good work in attacking areas from Amari Hutchinson on his debut, but England are searching for that breakthrough. They might well have to bring on Morgan Rogers in the second half. At the break, is England 0, Ukraine 0.
Cheers, Ian. Elsewhere in the Nations League tonight, in League A, it is Bosnia 0, Germany 2 at half-time. Also in that group, Hungary 1, the Netherlands 0. And in League B, Ukraine 1, Georgia 0. Also in that group, Czechia 1, Albania 0. It is Turkey 0, Montenegro 0. Also in Wales's group, so Wales heading top of the group at the moment. And in League C, it is Slovakia 1, Sweden 2. A result from earlier, Estonia 3, Azerbaijan 0. And of course, in Reykjavik, it is Iceland 0, Wales 2. Well, last night, TalkSport brought you live coverage of England's 2-1 defeat to Greece at Wembley. And after the game, our voice of football, Adrian Durham, didn't mince his words.
Wow, what a mess that was. Lee Carsley strolls onto the pitch, stony-faced, but he's kind of treated it a little bit like some sort of competition, almost like a bit of an X Factor. I know, I'll go with this, throw this in, see if this works. Last month was fine, yeah, absolutely. And then you completely messed it up this month, mate. Ireland and Finland 4 weeks ago, they're straightforward. Greece should be as well. They're better, but this is a side that didn't qualify for a 2014 Euros in the summer. Remember that. And Lee Carsley's shambolic lineup has just been beaten 2-1 at Wembley by this Greece side. A couple of the England players go off to applaud the fans, many of whom had left those red seats empty long before the end. It struck me that it was an England team that lacked any discipline, that lacked any idea of what they were meant to be doing. Lee Carsley picked a terrible team that was defensively shambolic, started with no strikers, ended with 2 strikers, made Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, Jude Bellingham and others look bang average, and probably he's coached his way out of any chance of getting the England job on a permanent basis. This was not acceptable tonight. This was so bad tonight. From any England side, imagine the grief a Graham Taylor would have got for that here at Wembley tonight. Imagine the grief Southgate would have got towards the end of his tenure for that tonight. England have picked an interim coach for seemingly 6 games, and it feels to me like it's a complete waste of time. So he had to win all 6, which, yeah, possibly he should do, but doesn't really generally happen. And he's chosen the 3rd game to experiment, and it's looked a complete and utter mess. So where does that leave England now with less than 2 years to go before the next World Cup?
Well, those are the views of Adrian Durham. I mean, England haven't qualified for the next World Cup yet. Let's make that point as well. But Dean Saunders, I'm not going to compare England to Wales by any stretch of the imagination, but when you look at Wales, basically we know what they have. They don't have too many options. Was last night a case for Lee Carsley of having too many options?
Yeah, and we've probably got $500,000 to spend on a manager. England have got 8 or 9 million. They've got the choice of whoever they want. How England have got an interim manager is beyond me. It's one of the biggest jobs, if not the biggest. Brazil and England, the two biggest jobs in football. They knew Gareth Southgate was going to leave. How have they got themselves in this position with nobody lined up? No, it doesn't seem to have a plan, and you end up with an interim manager whose first few games are easy games, so you've learned nothing. He then decides to make a few changes last night, and I think everybody before the game looked at the teams and thought, well, that looks good. And how much of the blame do you put on Lee Carsley, or do you look at Saka? How did you play last night? Forget the systems and formations. How did you play last night? Anthony Gordon, how did you play last night? Did you beat the fullback? Did you get crosses in? No. Foden, how did you play? Palmer, how did you play? Declan Rice, what did you do? Trent, done some great things but got exposed again. The left back is on trial. He's not a left back, so he done all right but got exposed at times. The two centre backs were stranded when they lost the ball. It looked to me as if they had about 6 number 10s on the pitch. Give me the ball to my feet, I'm the best player. And nobody prepared to run in behind the opposition's back four without the ball. And if you don't have players, Man City have it. Someone makes a run without the ball, non-stop, to stop the opposition's back four from holding the line.
So attacking football and freedom doesn't happen without hard work.
Exactly, and I would agree with what Adrian said. There's no discipline in the... like Jack Grealish has gone to Man City and he's been told by Pep Guardiola, if you keep going in field, I won't play you. You hold your position out there and you keep the right back away from Haaland, and we're going to get Haaland in. Not your day today. You just keep the right back occupied out there. He has to play disciplined football. They all do. They all know what they're doing. To have half an hour with that group of players, half an hour's training session of trying to get patterns of play so they all know where each other are running is really difficult. But I would look at the players as well and say, oh, okay, manager's taking all the blame. But what have you done tonight? Lee Carsley has not stopped Saka and Gordon beating the fullback and shooting and coming inside and bending shots in. I thought Bellingham done all right early on in the game. He was running in behind. But once again, if I'm Ollie Watkins, I'm devastated. Harry Kane's injured. Shuley's been waiting for this chance, and he's not put him in the team. I would have had a bet on Ollie Watkins scoring last night if he'd have played.
And of course, live on Talksport Sunday, 5 o'clock, Finland away. These were seen as low-key games for England, let's be honest. They're in the same standard of the Nations League as Wales, League B. And they are what they are at the moment. They've won 2 and they've lost 1. And these were not seen as games which would be a test. They would be seen as a warm-up for the World Cup qualifiers to come in the new year. But this feels like a big game now.
Yeah. I mean, last night, I would have gone in the dressing room last night and said, you've turned up with the wrong attitude. All of you turned up with the wrong attitude. Turned up treating it as a friendly, obviously, because if you're at your maximum, we roll Greece over 9 games out of 10. So they are glorified friendlies. You've got to ask yourself, how serious are the players taking these games? Because Saka's walked off with a hamstring, which is devastating for him if he's not fit. Minimum 10 days if you come off with a tweak. But they've got bigger games to come. But Lee Carsley, has he got the CV to control 21 superstars? Has he ever done it? That is a job in itself. It's not like David Moyes' job is to make West Ham solid and keep them in the league and keep them as high as you can. When you're managing the top players, you've got to know how to use your weapons, and you've got to keep them all happy and on board. I mean, he's probably lost Ollie Watkins now.
Changes for both sides at half-time in Reykjavik. Don't forget, England in Finland with our team led by Adrian Durham, live on Talksport, 5 o'clock on Sunday. 2 changes here for Iceland, and Wes Burns of Ipswich is coming on for Wales, and it's Brennan Johnson who has gone off, so maybe Craig Bellamy is looking at a potential option for the game against Montenegro, with Johnson, of course, unavailable due to suspension.
Yeah, he's got a goal, and there's Broadheads on the bench as well. They're doing well at their club at the moment, so I'm surprised one of them never started, to be honest. But important now, the first 10 minutes, Wales get a good start. Don't give a goal away. Do not beat yourself.
Wales leading by 2-0, wearing all red, attacking the goal away to our right in the second half. And changes for both sides. So Wes Burns coming on for Wales, and he will take that position wide on the right-hand side. Logie Thomason, a defender who plays for Strøm Godset in Norway. He has come on for Norway along with Michael Eriksen, who plays in Italy with Venezia. And we'll get confirmation of who has gone off. Willemsen of Birmingham has gone off along with Kolbein Finson at half-time. So Urga Hareide making 2 changes at the Leiðarvatnsvöllur, the national stadium in Reykjavik, as Cooper drives forward now for Wales, looks to play in Thomas. Cooper was caught late there on the edge of the penalty area. The referee allowing play to continue. Thomas has kept the ball in play. Here is Williams now. Another driven ball in, and it's claimed by Valdemarsen.
Yeah, it was another ball from Nico Williams. I mean, he's got his range, hasn't he? He wanted 2 better passes than he hit in the first half. They're 40, 50-yard balls over the top for Harry Wilson with the right weight on it. Not too hard so it does run through to the keeper. And he's tried another one there. Didn't find the target, but he'd be delighted with the 2 goals.
And Eriksen unable to keep the ball in play in front of the Wales fans on the far side, which is the Icelandic right. It's Ben Davies. Meanders beyond a couple of challenges, finds Cooper, but he has given the ball away. But in the end, all Iceland have is a throw-in on their right. And Cooper with the fair hair, wearing the number 10 shirt, which of course has been Aaron Ramsey's preserve for so long. And there is going to be a long throw-in here from Stefan Thordarson of Preston. Having seen the game against Burnley in the Championship last week at Turf Moor, he can throw the ball some distance, and he's using a towel on the far side to just dry his hands. And he loops it in towards the near post, and again Roden saw that all the way to head it up towards the halfway line, and Iceland go all the way back to their goalkeeper Valdemarsen.
Yeah, dangerous long throws. Joe Roden's headed it nearly to the halfway line. Great header. That's what you want from your centre-back, them long throws. You remember England getting done by Kyle Walker, knocked off at the back post when Roy Hodgson was manager from a long throw.
In Euro 2016, Iceland scored from a long throw in that game. That was the Kari Arnason, the Rotherham player at the time, was the deliverer of the long throws, and he was that night in Nice as James wins it back for Wales again. He was just clipped by Gudjonsson, and now Burns has given the ball away cheaply. Gudjonsson on this near side, finding Thorsteinsson. The cross in from him is headed away unchallenged by Davis inside the area. James keeping the ball in play. He's then being caught late on this near side by the player who's just come on, Logie Thomason, and it will be a free kick for Wales in their right back area.
Well, the referee has let a lot of things go. He's quite lenient for both teams. In this situation where you're Wales now, you're 2-0 up, and obviously Iceland have to do something to get back in the game. If they commit 6 players onto a full press, you've got to flip the ball in behind their back 4.
Now Óskarsson is going to play over Eriksen, and he puts it wide. A really good opportunity there for Iceland. Mikael Eriksen maybe not quite in tune with the game, but played in by Óskarsson. A clear side of goal 8 yards out, and he failed to hit the target.
Well, it's a great chance for Eriksen. I mean, it's come from nothing. Gunnarsson's just they've worked it across the box, and he's on the right wing. Nico Williams has just lost him for a second. He's trying to take it with his left foot. He's obviously left-footed. If he'd have let it come across his body with his right foot, he probably would have scored.
Ellison now shows too much of that to Cooper. And now Nico Williams on the far side, doing well to hold off Ellison. Back to Davis, who clumps it forward, but straight to Thordarson. And now Oskarsson on the turn, on the edge of the penalty area, fires it in. And the shot pings off the top of the crossbar with Danny Ward beaten.
Well, that's another goal shape. Oskarsson moves it back to goal, moves it onto his right foot. Great strike, hits the top of the bar. Danny Ward's beaten. Another warning for Wales. At this point, Wales have to flip the ball in behind Iceland's defence and then full press them when they're facing their own goal. At the moment, we're on the rack.
5 minutes played in the second half, and there's going to be a yellow card here for Kiefer Moore. It would be a rarity if he went through an international without a yellow card. Third Wales player booked after Connor Roberts and Brennan Johnson, who was withdrawn at half-time. Thordarson and Thorsteinsson are on the yellows for Iceland. And Moore there challenging Ingerson. Not sure really that's a yellow card.
He's another player that has to adjust his game to the new rules in football where you can't even jump for a header. So Kiefer Moore gets booked nearly every game. But I'd consider taking him off. The only doubt in my mind is he's heading some of their corners away. He's good defending in our box.
Thorsteinsson with the free kick flicked on and wide in the end, and it's a goal kick. It was an Icelandic egg. It was Inderson who got to it first, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. And Roden there was beaten for once, and he was out-jumped by Gretarsson, but it skimmed off the top of his head and harmlessly wide.
Well, this is where Craig Bellamy will learn more about his team right now than he has in the first two games. We're now getting pressure on us. Can we resist it?
Or the back pass will interest Sorba Thomas at the other end. Cleared away by Valdemarsson and controlled well by Thorsteinsson. Clipped over the top by Oskarsson, takes it down well. Beyond Ben Davis initially, he's got support from Ellison inside the penalty area, but again he gets right underneath the shot on the right foot this time, and he spoons it high over the top. But 7 minutes into the second half, Iceland have had three really good chances.
Well, that's similar to the goal Larry Wilson scored. The two chances, the ball over the top. Oskarsson pulls it down on the top of his foot, great touch, and he slips it to his right. Ellison, who had a similar chance 2 minutes ago, shows you why he never took it with his right foot the first time. His finish, horrendous. He shanked it into the crowd.
And it's back again towards Danny Ward. And now Connor Roberts has to play it first time under pressure. Left-footed on this near side. Iceland win it back, and they're winning all the second balls at the moment. Wales leading 2-0, but under pressure at the start of the second half. The referee thinks about giving a free kick to Thorsteinsson, who goes down, but then thinks better of it, and Wales can bring it clear. Williams has support from Davis. Davis slid in towards Cooper, who does well to slide in from behind the challenge and win it back cleanly for Wales, and he can break over the halfway line. He was then caught by Ellison, but here is Sorba Thomas forward for Harry Wilson, but it's cut out on the edge of the penalty area by Gretarsson. Iceland will knock it forward long, and Roden will play it back towards Ward again.
Pressure's on Wales, full press from Iceland. Can he deal with the ball when you've got pressure on him? Sorba Thomas a bit sloppy there. Ollie Cooper, great challenge, but a little bit sloppy. Just play two-touch, keep the ball, and he'll get through their press.
And you're listening to coverage of Iceland against Wales in the UEFA Nations League on Talksport 2 with Carling. 18 plus, always drink responsibly. And we've got PGA Tour Golf coming up at the end of this game, the Black Desert Championship in Utah. Crossing from Thomason for Iceland, down the left-hand side, controlled inside the penalty area and eventually hammered away by Roden. And it takes a deflection off Thor Steinson and goes behind for a goal kick. But at the moment, Wales can't get the ball down. They can't get the ball out.
No, and if Iceland continue to send as many bodies forward into the box, they're going to get a goal eventually. It's whether Wales can catch them on the break and turn the game 3-0, or they're going to get back in it, the way it's looking at the moment.
Well, Urga Hareide, now 71 years of age, their coach. He's won league titles in Denmark, Sweden, and his native Norway. And this is second spell in charge, as Wales come forward again now. And then they have to defend as Oscarson fires in the shot. And it's a good save by Danny Ward. Sharp effort from Oscarson, and Ward did well to grab hold of it, then cling on.
Well, I've got to say, that is a great save from Danny Ward. Once again, 4 players in the box. Oscarson, great half volley with his left foot. It's going in the top corner. Danny Ward's full length catches it. You don't see that very often.
No, but he held on. And here is Wilson on this near side, looking to carry the fight back to Iceland. 55 minutes played on Talksport 2. Iceland 0, Wales 2 in the UEFA Nations League. And we have more action from the Women's Super League and the EFL tomorrow on the Talksport network. On Talksport 145 we have the big one in the Women's Super League with Ian Danter and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. Of course, the new season beginning to take shape, and it's Arsenal against Chelsea from the Emirates Stadium. Here on Talksport 2, a double-header from the EFL. League 2 at 12:30. Chesterfield against Notts County with John Dunn and Neil Redfern. And then at 3 o'clock, Peterborough against Rotherham with Adam Bridge and Mickey Gray. And of course, Finland against England, 5 o'clock on Sunday, over on Talksport with Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce, with Faye Carruthers bringing us all the reaction from the tunnel after the game. Iceland continuing to press on this near side, and they've won a throw-in which Thordarson will try and hurl in long, coming in from about lane 4 on the running track, in towards that near post, and under pressure Kiefer Moore wins it in the air, but he's also got the free kick for Wales.
Yeah, I was just wondering how long it's before we see Gylfi Sigurdsson, who obviously has an eye for a goal. We've seen him at the highest level. He's on the bench. I would imagine any minute now he'll bring him on. So he's a threat if he comes off the bench.
Yeah, Sigurdsson is rebuilding his career in his home country, playing for Valor at the age of 35 now, their all-time top scorer with 27 goals. And he does have 6 goals and 4 assists in 13 league games for his club this season. And of course you can discuss the relative merits of the Icelandic League, but he's a player who is in form, and of course he knows international football very well. Thomason charging forward for Iceland on this near side. Good challenge from James, and now the opportunity for James to bring it clear, but he was late, sliding into the challenge midway inside his own half, and he could be in trouble here, Jordan James. It's only a yellow card. I thought for a moment the referee was going to head for the red there, because he overran his first touch there, Jordan James, and then he rather leapt into the challenge, and it was a cynical challenge from the former Birmingham man, catching Gudjonsson, and it's only a yellow card.
I actually thought he'd pulled out at the end. He's trying to pull out of the challenge. He's slid early. You know, he's ended up going through the player, Gunnarsson, but it wasn't that bad. It's a yellow card, but he actually tried to pull his leg out of the way at the end.
But Iceland have dominated the opening 14 minutes of the second half, but Wales still leading by 2-0. Brennan Johnson and Harry Wilson within the opening half hour. But rather like the game in Montenegro, Wales going 2 up, but now having to soak up a lot of pressure. Gudmundsson over the free kick for Iceland, 35 yards out. Now plays for Al Oraba in Saudi Arabia, and it's clipped in, headed away by Roden. Thorsteinsson gathers on the edge of the penalty area. The blue shirts try and pick their way through, but it's eventually cleared away by Thomas. But now Ingerson picks up a return ball inside the penalty area. The central defender still forward. Wide to Gudjonsson, the cross in, headed away by James. Kiefer Moore able to bring it down. Dreadful ball from him, finding Gudmundsson on the edge of the penalty area, but thankfully he slices the shot well wide. But Kiefer Moore there had the opportunity to orchestrate a counter-attack. He apologises to his teammates because he almost gifted Iceland a goal.
Well, you have to say at the moment, Iceland, better team. Created lots of opportunities, poor finishing. Kiefer Moore giving the ball away there in a dangerous position, 25 yards from his own goal. Can't do that. Sloppy.
James now clearing away on the edge of his own penalty area. The high ball nodded down by Moore, and Cooper plays it wide to the far side, and Thomas, a rare Welsh attack since half-time. Thomas driving into the penalty area, grits his teeth, but he's then held up by Fredriksson. Back towards Cooper again, and here is Nico Williams. Ben Davies back out wide towards Thomas again, down the Welsh left. He'll take on Fredriksson for pace, looks to go beyond him, delivers the cross in. Ingerson takes out his goalkeeper Valdemarsson to head the ball away, and Wales have a throw-in on the far side. Dennis Undav with a hat-trick goal for Germany. They lead 3-0 in Bosnia. The cross in from Williams, headed away by Ingerson. James recovers, pokes it on towards Cooper. Right foot shot from him, turned aside by Valdemarsson for a corner. Cooper there suddenly finding space on the edge of the penalty area. Plenty of pace behind that shot, and Valdemarsson having to make the save.
Well, we have got a good game to watch. I mean, the shot count from both teams, I'd like to see the total at the end of this game, because both teams are firing chances in at goal. Ollie Cooper there on his right foot pulls a save out of their keeper. It's a good save down to his right. Corner for Wales. They could do with a goal, because I just get the feeling Iceland are not dead yet.
Corner delivered into the penalty area from Thomas, headed away by Gudjonsson. Thorsteinsson nipping in before Wilson, 20 yards out. But here is Nico Williams on this near side, but he just overruns the ball under pressure, and it will be a throw-in for Iceland. Wales have had 6 shots on target now in the game. Iceland have had 2, but they have had 11 attempts on goal. But Wales with 61% possession, and even during their glory days under Chris Coleman, they were often better without the ball.
Yeah, and well, I'm just looking at the clock there. I think it was 15 minutes. Wales never got out their half after half-time. And when they did get out, created a few more opportunities. Sorba Thomas is having a good game. You know, he looks dangerous. He's willing to push the ball past the fullback and go outside him, which Kiefer Moore will enjoy.
Well, Iceland overall have had 11 attempts. Wales have had 8, but 6 of those have been on target.
Some poor finishing and some brilliant finishing.
Of course, Wales have hit the post as well. Now Elliotson on the far side, challenged by Davis, and it bobbles through to Danny Ward. 63 minutes played, Nations League Live on Talksport 2. Iceland 0, Wales 2. It is still goalless between Turkey and Montenegro. As Thomason plays the ball into the penalty area, Gudjonsson going down under the challenge of Cooper, and it was untidy from both players, and the referee waving away any potential penalty appeals. All of our match officials are from Bosnia this evening, as it's played forward again towards Wes Burns for Wales down the right, and he's unable to go beyond the challenge of Thordarson. And Oskarsson will chase a high ball forward, cut out well by Williams, but Elliotson now gathers for Iceland in a central area, finding Gudjonsson to his left. Gudjonsson fires in the shot left-footed, never really set for the shot from there, and it's wide of the near post.
I know it's difficult when you come off the bench. Wes Burns has given the ball away twice since he's come on. He's run the length of the pitch with the ball, and I'm thinking to myself, if Joe Allen's on the pitch there, this is where you need him. He's shouting to Wes Burns, turn out, don't give the ball away. And he ends up giving it away, and they get a chance, another chance, but too many of the players, and we've seen this against Montenegro, when the pressure's on, give the ball away cheaply. And you end up conceding a goal.
There may have been a check from the VAR for that penalty appeal for Gudjonsson. Fran Jovic of Croatia is the VAR official, but looking at the replay, Cooper with a good challenge.
Yeah, great challenge. Nothing wrong with that.
We have a referee taking charge of his first senior international this evening. Anthony Bandic, 34 years of age, from Bosnia. As Iceland look to come forward again, Wales still leading by 2-0. Roden sliding in with a good challenge on Oscarson, but then Cooper sliding in to commit the foul 25 yards out on Gudmundsson, wide on the right-hand side.
This is the exact type of situation. I know I just mentioned it, but a player like Joe Allen, who doesn't give the ball away, and it encourages the players around him to keep the ball, and he'll be telling them, you know, just play simple one-touch football, get the wide players running in behind, and relieve the pressure, but we're consistently giving the ball away.
Thomas Chori with the second goal for Czechia. They lead Albania 2-0, and that's in League A. Joe Allen with only 5 appearances from the bench for Swansea this season following injury. Thorsteinsson with the free kick into the penalty area. Ingerson jumping, unmarked, not making contact. Then at the far post, Oscarson going down under a challenge. He wants a penalty, but the referee says nothing doing.
Yeah, got away with another one. It's an in-swinging free kick. The back line doesn't drop off at the same time. A couple of players got blocked, and Oscarson nearly gets in. Just got the ball bounce just in front of him. Probably should have attacked it, diving header.
Jordan James was rather caught on the wrong side there as he tried to make the challenge. Of course, he's on a yellow card, so he can't afford to foul inside the area. Gylfi Sigurdsson is warming up for Iceland at the moment. Of course, he played his best club football in Wales for Swansea City in a couple of spells.
Yeah, scored lots of goals.
Absolutely. The Wales have got to the midpoint of the second half, still leading by 2-0, but it's been much less convincing since half-time. But as Iceland push on, you'd hope there would be gaps, further gaps at the back they can exploit. Now Thomason on this near side. The cross there was blocked by Burns, and there's an opportunity here for another long throw from Thordarson, who shapes as if he's about to throw the ball into the penalty area like Rory Delap, and then rather loops it in gently.
Yeah, and it's not the first player's head that normally scores. It's the players at the back post or on the edge of the box making blindside runs for the flick on, or the one that Roden will head down.
Thordarson with the throw into the near post, headed away well though. Wilson though has been beaten to it by Thordarson. His high cross to the far post is cleared, and then the shot fired in by Gudmundsson, and it's another excellent save by Danny Ward, diving away to his right-hand side to palm the ball over the top.
Well, yeah, it's just a great cross to the back post, but Nico Williams, golden rule. Sorry, when you're in the left-back area.
Corner's played short, and the shot this time was driven into the net superbly by Logie Thomason, firing the ball in with the outside of his left foot. Danny Ward had no chance this time, and that goal has been coming since the second half got underway. A first international goal for Logie Thomason, and it's Iceland 1, Wales 2.
Well, it was coming. Thomason's a great finish. Danny Ward made a brilliant save a minute before that, and this is a short corner. Harry Wilson gets out there, goes back, and he's just pushed out his feet. Kiefer Moores took too long to get out of him, and he's bent it with the outside of his left foot around Danny Ward. Great finish. No chance for the keeper, but it was coming. Now you find out about your players. Who can have the composure to get the ball down, who can defend, who can dig in. We're all great when we're winning.
Now Roden chasing a long ball forward. He's been dragged down by Thorsteinsson, and it will be a free kick for Wales. Thorsteinsson showing dissent there. He's already been booked in the game. Joe Roden dragged off the pitch, almost onto the running track. The referee this time just giving the free kick. But 20 minutes to play. Iceland 1, Wales 2. And rather like the game in Montenegro, Wales have lost the initiative.
Yeah, and from a coach's point of view, it's a terrible goal to concede from a corner. A short corner that ends up getting shifted to the edge of the box. Nobody gets out to the ball.
Now there was a break from Fredriksson, the fullback on the far side, halted by Ollie Cooper. Well, Iceland are set-piece specialists, and they've come up with another goal by that route there. The Wales fans trying to get behind their team.
Sorry, Nigel, I consider getting Chris Mepham on and going to a back five. You've got another big defender, actually, just try and plug some of the gaps that are appearing in our defence. I'd think about taking Kiefer Moore off and putting a sprinter on. He's not getting any sort of service.
Ukraine have taken the lead against England in the under-21 international in Bournemouth. Taras Mihavko has scored, and England have to win that game. And at the moment they're losing with 20 minutes to play. Serge Gnabry has scored for Germany. Their previous goal was ruled out by VAR, but now Gnabry has made it 3-0 away to Bosnia. But it's Iceland 1, Wales 2. And at the moment, it is all Iceland as it's cut out by Roden on the edge of the Wales penalty area. He tries to bring it forward, but so many second balls now are bouncing into Icelandic hands. Gudmundsson again with a high ball wide to this near side. The back heel from Thorsteinsson. Thomasson breaks into the penalty area, deep into the penalty area. He's still going. And did he score? He did! Thomasson squeezing the ball in from a very tight angle. It may go down as an own goal from Danny Ward. But Lordy Thomasson, the fullback, has come on and turned this game. 2 goals in 3 minutes. And it's Iceland 2, Wales 2. And Craig Bellamy's team have blown it.
Yeah, it's another terrible goal to concede. Connor Roberts is left stranded with an overlapping run, which was timed perfectly. Thomasson gets to the byline. Connor Roberts is afraid of touching him because he's going to go over. He's wriggling along the byline towards the near post. Danny Ward's holding his ground. So Connor gets done, and as Danny Ward's holding his ground, it hits the inside of his left heel and goes in.
I think it's a Danny Ward own goal in the end. The cross from Thomasson was not going in, and it struck Danny Ward, and Nico Williams did kick the ball out, but this time unable to do it in time. It was the back heel from Thorsteinsson which gave Thomasson the opportunity. Roberts on a yellow card couldn't really make any sort of challenge, and from that moment Wales were in trouble. Roden rather sold himself, and it's 2-2 in off the hand of Ward.
Yeah, so Danny Ward's obviously, he's running along the byline. He's about 4 yards from the near post, and he's obviously trying not to get nutmegged, so he's got his knees pinched together, but the ball's wriggled off his left heel and hit his left hand, which is on the ground, and gone in. But he should never have got to that place.
It's gone down as a Danny Ward own goal, and as that goal was being scored, Turkey have also taken the lead against Montenegro. Irfan Cankaveci with the opening goal there, so the situation changing in the group. Wales were on top for much of the evening, but now Turkey with 7 points, Wales with 5 points, and Iceland with 4 points. And Craig Bellamy stands there, arms thrust deep into pockets, And there are going to be a couple of changes. Liam Cullen is one of the players who'll be coming on.
Yeah, and it looks like Ben Cabango's got his gear off as well, so he looks like he's bringing another defender on. Maybe he's going to take Kiefer Moore off. But right now, with 15 minutes to go, you've got to take a draw. This game, there's only one team going to win this game right now as we speak. So Craig's substitutions have to try and stop the flow, because it's been coming. Sorba Thomas gets a chance to put us 3-0 up, and you felt at that moment this game could turn after that. Not ruthless enough.
Roberts with a long throw into the penalty area for Wales. A rare attack from them in the second half. 15 minutes to go. 2-2. Wales were 2 up until the 69th minute. Now Burns looks to play it down the line, but he's lost out. Ingerson booms it forward, but Williams now can return it for Wales on the far side. Well, Craig Bellamy was always going to use this Nations League, I think, as a learning experience, and he'll be learning plenty about his team at the moment. Sorba Thomas is quickly closed down on the near side by Thor Steinsson, and they've switched over the wide players. Burns going over to the left, Thomas on the right. Now the changes, and it is going to be Connor Roberts who comes off. Liam Cullen will come on. That won't be the positional change, of course. And Sorba Thomas will also be replaced by Ben Cabango. So Cabango coming in to make it a back 5. And Liam Cullen also coming into the team to play further forward.
Yeah, and Craig will be feeling like he's lost control of the game, which is, I know that's obvious, but there's two ways of controlling the game. You either let the opposition have the ball and you get set in his shape and you can control it that way, or you control it with the ball. Well, if you're trying to control the game with the ball and you keep giving it away, that ain't going to work. And that's exactly what's happened.
Danny Ward own goal, equalising. Now Ward missed kicks on the edge of his own penalty area, and he was so fortunate it bobbled into the path of Cabango, who could clear the ball away. Now Harry Wilson's being caught by Thomason on this near side. Edin Dzeko has pulled a goal back for Bosnia. The Serge Gnabry goal was also disallowed, so it's now Bosnia 1, Germany 2. But Turkey winning and Wales drawing here. So at the moment, Turkey will be taking control of Group B4, and of course Wales meet them away from home in November for a home game to finish against Iceland. Now Ingerson, under pressure from Kiefer Moore, just hammers a ball downfield. Davis will gather on the far side. Ellison harassing him, and Davis runs it straight out of play. And it's difficult to remember Wales doing anything right in the second half.
No, giving the ball away for fun. I mean, Ben Davis has gone to left back. Cabango's come on to play at the heart of the defence with Roden, and Nico Williams has gone to right back. Cullen's on just to replace Sorba Thomas. So Wes Burns has gone over to the left. Harry Wilson on the right. Kiefer Moore down the middle. So same shape.
Now for Steinsson, long ball forward for him. Nico Williams slips inside the penalty area. It's pulled back to Ellison. Oscarson now firing the shot, blocked by Roden. There are 2 balls on the pitch. Play will continue though, and it's actually kicked out by Oscarson on the far side, and it will be a corner kick for Iceland with 12 minutes to play. 2-2.
Well, right as we speak, Wales are like a sieve. Iceland are coming through from all angles, sending bodies forward, and Wales can't get a grip of the game, can't control the ball, can't pass it where they're aiming it. Need to ride this. Need a bit of luck, actually.
Well, Gudmundsson will take the corner kick on the far side. Iceland's 4th of the game. Wales have just had 1. David Strelec with 2 goals for Slovakia. They've come from 2 down to be level with Sweden. Gudmundsson with the corner into the penalty area. Gudjonsson was challenging, but it's headed away by Roden. Now Thomason on this near side, firing in the shot, blocked by Cabango, and it will be a throw-in for Iceland, and the game has been played almost exclusively in the Wales half in the second half.
Yeah,
it has been a punishing game for Wales.
This is the problem Craig's got. Who does he bring on that can actually pull the ball out of the sky and just get some sort of composure into Wales's midfield? He hasn't got anyone. David Brooks, maybe?
Well, Urga Haraida made the changes, and they have come off because the fullback he's brought on has scored one and made one.
Yeah, so he's an experienced man. He's done his job. Sigurdsson didn't have to come on. He's not come on yet, has he, Sigurdsson?
No, Sigurdsson has not come on.
He's still warming up. So he doesn't have to bring Sigurdsson on to get the goals back. And to be honest, they could have scored 6 or 7.
Wales now really under pressure, having led 2-0 at half-time. And that seems a long time ago now, with 10 minutes to play. Iceland level at 2-2. And Wales will fall 2 points behind Turkey as it stands. But as Dean Saunders was saying, a point at this stage would not be a bad result away from home, considering how things have gone since half-time. On the far side, Burns. Oh, plays a dreadful back pass. Oskarsson fires it wide, and he should have scored. What on earth was Wes Burns doing there? Giving it to Oskarsson on the edge of the penalty area, and the striker throws back his head in anguish because he should have made it 3-2 to Iceland.
Yeah, I mean, you've said it exactly as what happened there, Nige. Wes Burns is on the touchline on the left wing. He turns back towards his own keeper for some reason. Tries to hit the ball back to Danny Ward. Never on for a pass. And Gunnarsson's fired it. It was going wide, but he should have probably scored.
Arne Krauterson will be coming on for Iceland shortly to win his 60th cap. One veteran replacing another as Johan Berg Gudmundsson comes off. And Krauterson will just try and pull the strings for them in the closing stages, but everything Urga Haraida has done in the second half has come off for Iceland, and their fans at the moment are sensing a comeback winner here.
Yeah, and tactically, he knew how Wales were going to play, and he stopped them playing.
Cabango, high ball forward on this near side. Wilson under pressure heads it down, but only as far as Thordarson. And Cabango again will just have to hammer the ball out of play, and it will be a throw-in for Iceland. Thorsteinsson takes it quickly, but James back there manages to dig the ball out. High ball forward, Gretarsson all the way back to Valdimarsson, who has had one shot to save in the second half from Cooper. And now Valdimarsson, under no real pressure, plays it straight out of play, and Wales have a throw-in midway inside the Icelandic half.
Yeah, both teams are quite similar. If you press Wales, they'll give the ball back to you, and if you press Iceland, they'll give the ball back to you. Chances both ends. It's been a bit of a basketball match.
Cullen back to his Swansea teammate Cabango. And infield now to the former Swansea player Roden. Another Davis now down the left-hand side. And there's a run in behind from Burns down the left, but he won't get that. It's claimed by Valdimarsson. Virgil van Dijk has been sent off for the Netherlands this evening. There's still a goal down in Hungary, in the same group as Germany, who lead in Bosnia by 2-1.
As good as Harry Wilson was first half, I don't think he's had a kick second half.
No, not a meaningful one, certainly. As Iceland look for that big switch towards Thomasson again, but it's overhit this time, and we have 7 minutes to play. Iceland 2, Wales 2, and Gylfi Sigurdsson will be coming on for the home side, their all-time record goal scorer. Former Swansea City player, of course. This will be his 83rd cap. Can the veteran have the final word?
Don't be surprised if he gets the winner.
But he comes on for Gudjonsson, who takes off his black gloves and almost throws them to the running track in frustration, but then thinks better of it. Sigurdsson, still a very popular figure in Iceland. still looking a languid presence wearing that number 10 shirt. Now Kiefer Moore on the halfway line for Wales, checks inside, he's been caught by Sigurdsson, but the referee says he got the ball. I think Wales have been given the throw-in on this near side. Williams will take it in towards Moore and lay back to James. James now under pressure from Sigurdsson, but stepping in field. And here is Ben Davies on the far side. Now Burns. Cooper in space, in field. Burns may look to take on Fredriksson, but then thinks better of it. And here is Davies again with 5 minutes to play. Iceland 2, Wales 2. Wales were 2 goals up with 20 minutes to play, but collapsed with 2 goals in quick succession after being under pressure for the whole of the second half. Now Cabango again, finding Danny Ward, and that Wales counter-attack very quickly comes to nothing. Williams on this near side, all the way back towards James. James, though, is forced further back to Ben Cabango, who has had to be patient for international opportunities in recent times, but Iceland with 18 attempts on goal overall. And overall, you can't dispute the fact they've come back. It's not been fortunate, they deserve to be levelled.
No, you're spot on, Nigel. They've been the better team, if you want to be that frank. And there, Wales just all of a sudden showing a bit of composure now. 5 minutes to go.
Williams plays it back to Roden. Still time to win the game, of course. Now Davies. Burns just checks his run down the left-hand side to stay onside. But now Davies will find him on the halfway line, and it's flipped over the top. Ingerson with a back header, which almost puts Gretarsson under pressure, but he's able to clear. And here is Roden again, finding Cooper. Cooper turning to find Burns, and it's back towards Davies. Wales enjoying a rare piece of keep ball inside the Icelandic half in the second half. Of course, they were 2 goals up at half-time, playing really well. Now Burns looking to make the run in behind down the left, but it's cut out by Ingarsson, and he will clear downfield. Denzel Dumfries for the late equaliser for the Netherlands with 10 men away to Hungary, 1-1 in Budapest. Now it's been given away by Wilson, and here is Thomasson coming forward in towards Sigurdsson, challenged though by Cooper, and it's played forward by James. Moore now, just inside the Iceland half, gets a couple of ricochets. Cullen tries to keep the ball alive and finds Williams, and back towards Cullen. And Wales now could build. Davies down the left, Burns in some space on the left with Cooper in field. Back again towards Ben Davies with 3 minutes to play on Talksport 2. 2-2 in Reykjavik. James tries to thread the eye of the needle to find the run on the far side of Burns and doesn't pick him out. And there is a foul on Troutarsson, and it will be a free kick for Iceland.
Iceland just taking their foot off the gas a little bit. Let Wales come out. Jordan James there's typical of the whole game. Just giving the ball away cheaply. Good players don't give the ball away.
James McAtee with a late equaliser for England in the under-21 international against Ukraine. 1-1 with 2 minutes to play at the Vitality Stadium. Now Sigurdsson now turning for Iceland, finding Óskarsson, the back heel back towards Sigurdsson. Good tracking though by James, who got the challenge in. Here is Cooper for Wales on the far side. Almost fouled, continues. Then he's given the ball away to Traustason. Óskarsson with a square ball, headed away by Cabango. And then headed forward by Wilson into the Iceland half, but Gretarsson will find Ingerson. And the home team can build again. Down the line from Fredriksson. But it's given away cheaply by Iceland. Can Wales create one further chance to snatch the victory here in the final 90 seconds or so? Davies coming forward down the left. In towards Cooper. And wide to the far side, and Burns. The high cross in, Wilson will challenge. Valdemarsson's lost it. Now, did he carry the ball outside his penalty area there when he touched it? Wales were convinced, but play continues. Oscarson now plays it forward towards Thorsteinsson. And Thorsteinsson can attack the penalty area. Comes in field. Right foot curler hits the post. And Thorsteinsson so close to winning the game there for Iceland in the 90th minute.
Well, it's a breakaway, and Nico Williams has got a 1v1 with Thorsteinsson, and you know he's going to come back on his right foot. And instead of cutting the inside off and sending him wide, he's let him drop his shoulder. He's bent it, and he's so unlucky. It's hit the outside of the post. Wales were nearly out of the game. It's a great effort.
Well, Thorsteinsson hitting the same post that Harry Wilson did in the first half. Let's not forget, Wales could have been 3 up at half-time and it would have been game over. Now it's 2-2, heading towards added time, and they're clinging on for a point. Roden just happy to boom the ball away on the far side. A minimum of 3 more minutes at the end of this game.
Would you take a draw, Nigel?
Yes.
I would, the way the game's going. And before the kick-off, if you'd have probably asked me, would
with
you
2
take
home
a draw?
games still to come, definitely.
Yeah.
Now Roden pokes it wide on the far side. Wales at home to Montenegro on Monday. We'll have updates on that game with Lawrence Mora on Monday night on Talksport. Sunday, of course, it is England against Finland, a 5 o'clock kickoff in Helsinki. And full commentary, of course, on Talksport as Burns loses out on the far side. It's played infield to Traustason, but Wilson doing well to win it back, given away cheaply though by James. Here is Sigurdsson now, 20 yards out onto the left foot. It's blocked by Cabango, comes out to Traustason. Ellertson now, his shot though is blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Wales, a defensive shambles once again. It was Cullen there who just got there in time. Now Thomason, Thorsteinsson wide on the left again. We know he'll come inside, and he chops back onto that right foot. The cross this time is blocked by Williams, who does well to avoid the corner by heading the ball away, but Thorsteinsson has won it back, but then Williams crucially wins it back by the corner flag, and he can hammer it long downfield. Headed down in field by Kiefer Moore, and Cullen just looking to hold on to the ball, inviting the challenge from Sigurdsson, and it will be a throw into Wales with 80 seconds of added time to play in Urga Haraida. The more animated coach, we have to say. Craig Bellamy was absolutely brimming with confidence during the match against Montenegro in the rain, and he was during the first half here, but he's been a more contemplative figure in the second half here, watching his team lose control.
Well, you can play any system you like. You can play 5 at the back, you can play a diamond, you can play with a false number 9. No system works if you keep giving the ball away.
Sigurdsson now slips it through to Oscarson. Crucial challenge on the edge of the area from Cabango to rob him. Wilson has now been caught by Thomason, and it's a free kick for Wales, and there may just be time to take it with 30 seconds to play.
Well, that is a magnificent tackle from Cabango there. There was a through ball played between him and Roden. Good Johnson's in. Was it Oscarson? Sorry. Oscarson was in. And he stuck his leg out. Otherwise, he was in on Danny Ward.
Well, Danny Ward's just been shown a yellow card for time wasting. And we're ticking towards the end of the 3 minutes, and Wales may get one final chance here from this free kick. Hammered long by Ward downfield, looking for Moore, who wins the header. Cullen tries to lay it down for Wilson, but it's cut out. Oscarson now on the halfway line, back towards Sigurdsson. His ball forward though, asking too much of Oscarson, and that's it. It's a point for Wales in the end, and there is some real disappointment out there in Reykjavik. A handshake between Haraida and Bellamy, 2 coaches at different ends of their career, but Wales may regard this as 2 points dropped, but in the end, in that second half performance, it's a point gained.
Before the game, you take a point. Iceland are a decent team. They've showed tonight they can hurt most teams. Big, strong team, athletic. Wales gone 2-0 up, 2 great goals. Sorba Thomas gets clean through. A great pass from Harry Wilson to make it 3-0. Poor finish, and you felt at that point, instead of the game being done and dusted 3-0, that Iceland were going to come back into it. I've lost count how many shots at goal they had. Some of the finishing wasn't clinical, but also Harry Wilson's hit the post. It could have been 10-6.
At the moment, Turkey still leading Montenegro 1-0 in added time in Samsung. So if it stays like that, Turkey will have 7 points, Wales will have 5 points, Iceland will have 4 points. Harida and Craig Bellamy are still deep in conversation. Maybe they're chatting about Norwich and Manchester City, who knows? But I'm sure in the cold light of day, Craig Bellamy will think, if you're 2 goals up at half-time, it's a game you should be winning, but he'll be relieved in the end. England have turned things around very late on. James McAtee with a second goal in the 92nd minute. They have to win that game against Ukraine's under-21s. A goal down with 2 minutes to play, and now they lead 2-1 in Bournemouth. And they have won that game by 2-1. So England's qualification hopes are still alive in the European Championships. As Wales here celebrate with their fans on the far side, or certainly acknowledge their fan support. And what do you think Craig Bellamy will be thinking?
He'll be concerned about the possession that was lost under pressure when Iceland put their foot on the pedal and started pressing Wales. Couldn't keep the ball, and it was glaringly obvious. They missed Ampadu, they missed Ramsey, and they missed Joe Allen. If you could have put that 3 midfield players in there, I think you would have seen a lot more composure. Maybe not as many legs, but they wouldn't have been giving the ball away as much as Wales were. Wes Burns comes on, probably give it away 6 times out of 7. Sorba Thomas has done okay. Kiefer Moore played well first half. Harry Wilson never had a kick second half, neither did Kiefer Moore. And we're just like a bit of a sieve. And we've done well to get a draw, really. I think that's a good result.
We'll see if we can join Ian Abrahams in Bournemouth before the end of the game. We'll just round up some of the other scores tonight in the UEFA Nations League. They're still playing in that match between Turkey and Montenegro, and it's still 1-0 to the Turks in Wales's group. Bosnia 1, Germany 2 is still the latest score in League A. The Netherlands, despite the red card for Virgil van Dijk, are currently 1-1 against Hungary. Georgia, a goal down in Ukraine. And as we say, the Czech Republic 2 goals up on Albania. That's in Group B1. And in Group C1, they're into added time. It's Slovakia 2, Sweden 2. And Czech Republic have beaten Albania by 2-0. And Germany have held on to beat Bosnia by 2-1 in Group A3. Don't forget, more action from the EFL coming up tomorrow night on Talksport. Tomorrow afternoon, 12:30, Chesterfield against Notts County from League 2. Peterborough against Rotherham from League 1 at 3 o'clock. Over on Talksport, 1:45 kickoff. Arsenal against Chelsea from the WSL. And Finland against England coming up live on Talksport. Big game for Lee Carsley, you feel now. That is 5 o'clock on Sunday. But that's all from Dean Saunders and Nigel Adderley here this evening. Up next, the PGA Tour moves on to Utah in the Black Desert Championship, and we'll be joining John Jackson shortly. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.